That intro never gets old. Hold up. You're muted.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been unmuted this whole time. Billy Stark's intro.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, Mikey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm finding my zen. Actually, now that I think about it, I believe this is my first time being on a live stream review for AEW Rampage.
Oh, is it really?
I think so.
Okay.
Honestly, we reveal so much wrestling, everything kind of blurs together.
Right? That's very true. So,
yeah, but hello, Biconic Internets, and welcome to another live streamed edition of your Cleanup Crew review. This is your weekly AEW Rampage review team here. I am El Jefe himself, Mikey, and joining me is my brother in arms, the co-hostist with the mostest. Love him, you know him, you can see him here on Rampage, as well as popping up on some other stuff we got going on. El the second himself, Adolfo, the nerdy Puerto Rican. What's up tonight?
We are here. We're a day separated from Rampage, so we've had time to let it marinate. This has been a very interesting weekend because Collision there was no Collision this weekend because of the NBA All-Star Game. I guess. Sure. So, and Rampage was on early too. It was on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we've had some time to marinate, and I enjoyed it. I'm stoked. I don't want to like put the cart in front of the horse, or the horse in front of the
whatever
Cadillac.
the term.
I don't know.
Whatever the term the kids are using these days.
whatever they're saying. It was good. I feel it has been a solid week of AEW wrestling and storytelling. So
I enjoyed this Rampage, and we got I will say there was some ups and downs. I still enjoyed the episode of what we got. They crammed a lot of backstage segments in this episode, though. It was
not like last week. It was like no backstage segments and all wrestling. This week it was a lot of backstage segments.
It really was. I feel like as someone who reviews Dynamite too, I feel like Dynamite and Rampage switch because we've got mostly wrestling this past Wednesday with very few backstage segments, and I feel like Rampage and Dynamite swap this week because now we cram. I guess because of the fact there is no Collision, we had to cram in everything for this week in the backstage stuff.
Yep, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I am excited for Collision to come back next week because we'll talk about what we were told Danielson's character facing on Collision. I'm like, just keep feeding him like New Japan legends, and I'm here for it. We'll talk about it at the end. I was like, I'm kind of here for it.
That and really quick sidebar, I want to find out how to watch that Blackpool Combat Club versus CMLL in Mexico City match. Seriously. It is a thing, and I want to figure out where to watch it, and I want to watch it. And if if I got to watch it on the CMLL website, then dagnabbit, that's just what's going to happen.
We'll look into like getting a YouTube subscription to CMLL because they do like subscription based stuff too on YouTube.
We'll check that out.
We're definitely going to because I definitely want to see that match.
Yep.
Especially because it's going to be a giant 4-on-4 and we're adhering by the rules in CMLL. We're in actual Mexico, so there are no tags.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's going to be cool. But come on. All right, let's talk about Rampage.
Okay, let's go. So we are here to cover Rampage from this past Friday, which at the time of this live stream / edited review took place Friday, February 16th, 2024. I believe we are in Texas still at this time.
I believe so.
Which would explain San Antonio, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Rampage this week opens up with a very fun singles match. Sammy Guevara versus Jeff Hardy out of nowhere. I was like,
yeah.
Okay. And, heel Jeff Hardy for sure. And I have to make this statement before we dive into the match itself. Obviously, we try to keep up to date with all the news. We did get notification that during this match, Sammy Guevara accidentally knocked out Jeff Hardy when he came down with the shooting star press knee to the face.
I knew that. Okay. I thought that did something.
And then they edited out like the last 5 minutes of the match. Let's just get into the match. So let's talk about everything prior to that spot because I swear I was like, they didn't tell me this was a no DQ match street fight because there was ladders, there were chairs. I thought,
yeah. I didn't know it was a no DQ match either. And they did start pulling out like ladders and chairs and tables, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Did I miss the memo? Like, What?
right? Not
I
not that I was disappointed. It was definitely good. I was that explains a lot now. But anyway, well, go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead with the recap of the match.
So the best way I could describe this match, it was orchestrated chaos because we
Yes.
had ladder spots in the ring, and then the big pinnacle point, the move here that I was gobsmacked by, but also very worried of how close they were to the actual ring apron, is when we got to the giant ladder outside with the table set up. Sammy and Jeff were fighting to see who was going to be on the table and who was going to jump off the ladder through said table. Jeff ended up on table. Sammy ended up jumping off ladder into table. I was very worried because of how close Sammy had to flip to keep near the ladder without trying to bash his face into the ring apron. Like the distance between the table and the ring edge of the ring apron was very narrow. And I thought Sammy was about to concuss himself falling on the way down.
All over again.
And listen,
all over again.
Safety is super important for us. The last few years of AEW, as much as I love the crazy shenanigan spots, something changed inside of me, especially after I saw Darby Allin almost break his spine on those stack of chairs against Jeff Hardy, no less, too, like not even a year ago. And I know it's there to entertain the audience, but we got to pick better spots, or at least make the distance between the table and the apron more, because that was a very narrow margin.
Yeah, and it was weird because you had Matt Hardy outside, and it seemed like he was kind of like spotting. You would think that the spacing would have been a little better, but in terms of matches, it was a fun match. It was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. To me, it was a good intro match. It did have a lot of energy, even for all of the scary spots in it. And who knows, maybe those scary spots that they did were meant on purpose. Maybe they, or maybe not. Who knows? But at the end there, when Sammy did his, not the 450, what's it called, Mikey?
I think based on what I saw, it looked like a shooting star press of some sort.
Yeah,
and as Sammy was coming down, his knees hit Jeff right in the face and knocked him out.
Yeah. Because that, as soon as his legs came down, and the camera was in a way that you saw you saw the connection between the knee and his head, and you saw Jeff Hardy's head like bounce off the mat. I figured something happened because he just kind of like went limp, and I knew he wasn't, at least I thought he wasn't seriously hurt, and it's Jeff Hardy, and they know how to do these types of matches. They know how to sell those types of moves. So to me, it looked like it was all part of the show, for lack of a better term. But it is good to know that he did it was an actual thing, because it did look a little, that pin did look a little weird. It almost like it was an audible type situation. There were a few other spots too when Jeff was outside of the ring, where he was just blinking and like heavy breathing, and looking like he was like, not that he wasn't all there, but looking like he was trying to keep up.
Was dazed for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, which again, I have said this before, and it's not that the Hardys don't know how to do this. I mean, they've been doing this for years. I just feel I do get more and more concerned for them, especially for Jeff, especially lately. He has been cranking out a lot of tough matches. I feel like the last match he had wasn't that the one against Swerve Strickland? Or am I thinking?
No, you're right. He had that match against Swerve, and then like 2 weeks before that, he had a rematch with Darby too.
Yeah, and that was a really good match too. 3 great matches, but like, I don't know, like I feel like he's not giving himself enough time to like recover in between those matches, especially with the energy level that he goes with during those matches. And I'm just concerned. I'm concerned for him, because I was a Hardy's fan back in the day. And I do enjoy watching him wrestle. I at least for Jeff's sake, because Matt, he's kind of switched over to a more strong style now, which I feel is a bit more sustainable. I wish Jeff would do kind of like what RVD has been doing, where Rob Van Dam has been coming out for matches, but it seems like almost like he's doing one match a month and giving himself enough like recovery time in between there. Because the times that RVD has been coming out, he's looked really good, So, but that's just that's just my 2 pesos, as it were.
Your 2 pesos. I love it so much. I was like, that's great. So, like we said, Sammy picks up the victory here. And then we got what I've been wanting since we got it like 2 weeks ago. And I thought AEW forgot about it. But Powerhouse Hobbs ambushes Sammy Guevara after the match and, attacks him afterwards.
Not only ambushing Sammy Guevara, but rolling a crit 20 on his stealth roll. Because I don't know about you, but the ring was empty, and then all of a sudden there was a big jacked black man in the middle of the ring.
That slide-in was so smooth. It was so smooth. I was just like, okay,
he's been. It's like Powerhouse Hobbs been hanging out with the Shaolin, learning the ways of the Shaolin. Get that Wu-Tang. Powerhouse Hobbs, he slides in, he grabs Sammy, he put him into the ground. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Powerhouse Hobbs versus Sammy Guevara. Do we know, is it coming up on Dynamite, or is it going to be a Revolution 0 hour match?
We haven't gotten confirmation it's going to be on Dynamite. We have 2 Dynamite shows before Revolution. So this upcoming Wednesday is regular show. And then the following week is going to be the go home for Revolution. So I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up on 0 hour for Revolution, if it's not on Dynamite or Collision or Rampage within the next 2 weeks.
I hope it does.
I hope so too.
I would like to see the extra 2 weeks of build up for that. That's a good beef. And then see it on 0 hour. So
I'm just happy because I thought AEW forgot about it, but it's like, okay, we're going to continue to build this. And once we get done with this match and then the beatdown afterwards, for the next, I want to say maybe 10 minutes or so, is like crammed with backstage promos and promos. We're going to go through these as much as we can. So backstage promo number 1, Renee is with Brian Cage and Prince Nana. Brian Cage is continuing to feud with Hook, and Brian Cage pretty much calls out Hook, saying it's like, dude, you're not even a wrestler. You're barely here. I'm here all the time. I'm a real wrestler, and it gets under my skin that people are cheering for you and not me. So I'm going to make sure that
I'm cheering for you, Brian Swolverine. I'm cheering for you.
We are too. We love Brian Cage in these households here. But again, we're building up a feud, Hook versus Brian Cage. And I was just like, I know Brian Cage is technically the heel in this, but I'm kind of on his side.
Totally. And the other thing too, I don't know. I'm probably sitting alone on my own little island on this, but I don't like Hook's promos that he cuts, like
the more recent ones for sure are not my favorite.
Well, yeah, like the ones that just jump into my mind are the ones when he was getting that match with Jack Perry, and it was just like there was that one where he was at the restaurant and he just said just like a few words, and then there was another promo where he just didn't say a lot. And again, I'm probably alone on my island on this, and I understand that, and I'm fine with it. But I don't think that Hook wrestles enough be able to justify that type of like 2-syllable it's on type thing. Like, if this was like Samoa Joe, if this was like the type of angle that Samoa Joe would take, we see Samoa Joe in the ring constantly, and we see him beating the crap out of people constantly. Like, okay, yes, you can back up those type of promos where you only say 2 words and that's it. So those type of promos that Hook cuts. I don't like them. And I feel that Brian Cage and Prince Nana are going to be the mouthpieces for this. And I really hope that they do give them a good theater, if you will, to keep building up this match. Because I am interested in this match because I like Brian Cage. And I'm interested to see if they actually start utilizing the FTW belt a little bit more. So
I would love to see this feud culminate into the FTW. And we talked about this last week too, is that Hook is the current FTW champion and Brian Cage is the former FTW champion. So let's bring some relevancy back to the FTW title and I'm ready for this feud. I'm really excited.
Yep.
Then we continue backstage because then we get a promo from Private Party. Oh my gosh, it's that Private Party.
That was a fun promo.
And you know what? I always wanted to know. I was like, so who's this random security guard? We come to find out that his name is Cheesecake. So this is Private Party and Cheesecake, the security guard. I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Dude, if we ever get a chance, I want to interview Cheesecake.
Me too. I was just like, listen, I love Private Party, but I want to know, so Cheesecake, how does it feel to be entouraging in private security for Private Party? And do you carry the velvet rope with you everywhere?
Yeah, exactly. It was a fun promo. To me, it was a good promo to kind of keep Private Party in our mind, because they when they came back, they did come back. They did put the tag team division on blast, so this was one of those good promos just to be like, okay, Private Party is still a thing. So
I am looking forward to seeing Private Party more in the tag team division and to see them climb up the ranks. And honestly, I would love to see them go after the tag championships at some point. So we'll see what happens with all that. Then from here, we get into probably the more clunkier of the backstage segments here. This is with Blackpool Combat Club with Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. I thought it started off pretty decent with Mox talking. When Claudio stepped in and everything that happened with both, I was like, oh, this is not good. This was not a good.
The most entertaining part of the second part of the second half of this promo was my 4-year-old son it was before bedtime because, Rampage was at 7 p.m. So he was watching it with me. He kept asking why the elephant had so many cuts and bruises on it. Because Claudio Castagnoli, if you didn't see Rampage, Claudio Castagnoli, he was wearing his merch, but apparently he has a new t-shirt where it's an elephant that has like a black eye and like a whole bunch of bruises and whatnot. So my son was like, why is the elephant all banged up? I'm like, I don't know, bud. But this was, even the Jon Moxley part, it wasn't my favorite. It was not my favorite spot. And it definitely did not make me excited for the FTR fight that they got coming up. And that's going to be a good fight because FTR, they do great, consistent work. And Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli both do great work in the ring. So it's going to be a good match, a fun match to watch. But yeah, this promo was just rough.
Again, it started off fine. And then as soon as Moxley says, Claudio, you know what I'm thinking? And Claudio responds with Renee's glutes. I was like, oh, this is going to go off the rails real fast. And it sure did.
Yep.
I'm still looking forward to the match between BCC and FTR on Wednesday, but it did not help the cause. Interrupt. And we get another chapter in the Dawson's Creek saga, as I have.
Yep. I'm vested in this story, buddy. Woo. Yeah. And I was happy that Ruby pulled out the note and was like, I know it was you, and then like walked off. And then to Harley, it's like, I forgot what she said, but then Harley is like, yeah, just hit her with my knife.
And then Saraya's just like, that's a spoon. And then I think what caught me off guard, like, because I was not expecting it, Harley Cameron taps Saraya with the spoon in like the pectoral region for monetization purposes.
Yep.
And they both walk off. I had to pause because I was so caught off guard. I laughed so hard. I was like, this is so stupid, but like
in the best way possible. Yeah. So this storyline is I'm happy. And I was thinking about this earlier today, actually, how mid to late 2023, we were talking of the Outcasts when we were talking about Ruby Soho and Soraya and how it just seemed like they were spinning the wheels, and we wanted something from them, some sort of utilization from them, and we're getting that. I think it's a hit. I think that the storyline is a hit.
Oh, absolutely. I thought this was fantastic. It's very silly and funny, but it has everything that we kind of want from wrestling. We want the great athleticism, but we love the hokey and campiness of wrestling. And for once, like, we've seen a payoff with the storyline go somewhere too.
Yeah.
Because then we get the second half with Ruby later, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Because I root for love.
Yep. We root for love here.
From here, then we get to what I dub the squash match of the night. Because we are in Texas, we have the natural Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs once again.
Von Erichs. Yep.
I was just like, it's been a hot minute, but it's the natural Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs versus our local talents of Romero Cruz, Hit, and Shimbashi. This is like a 2-minute match. Dustin and the Von Erichs pick up the victory. We're in Tampa.
Yeah, when they came out, or when I saw on Instagram that we were going to see Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs in action, and then I saw, oh yeah, we're in Texas, so yeah.
we saw a lot of action this week from some Texas natives because of where we were. Except I think Ring of Honor was from somewhere else because we saw Brian Keith have a squash match there too.
Yeah, but that's right. It was a squash match.
I'm hoping that because Dustin told us at the beginning of the year that this will be his final year of professional wrestling, I hope we give him something more. I mean, granted, we're only in February at this point, but I don't want to wait till the last minute. I would love for Dustin to get one more big storyline, more feud. Doesn't even need to be a title, but let's give Dustin something more before he decides to ride off into the sunset.
Totally, especially when you know that he is just a company man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like at World's End, when Keith Lee bowed out the last minute, he comes stepping in, and he works
with Swerve to try to make something work.
Right, and was not the cleanest match ever, but it was literally put together that afternoon. So like the fact that they got something together and it was somewhat cohesive is a testament. And he's a legend, so I definitely hope that they give him something, maybe a push to the FTW belt.
I mean, if he mixes it up with Brian Cage or Hook, I would not be upset about it, but I do want to reiterate that I want to see Dustin have one more run at something and have a major feud before he rides off into the sunset.
Yep, definitely.
Then my heart was pure because we got another promo from Timeless Tony Storm. Renee is backstage with the crew of Tony, Mariah May, and Luther the Butler. Renee asked Tony, because Deonna kept it short and simple on Dynamite after witnessing Tony's new film Wedding, and she just didn't mince words. She's like, I will break your arm, beep. And then Renee's like, so how do you respond to that? Poor Mariah May became the test dummy.
Got beat on and
armbar, then the ankle
laughing.
lock.
Oh my god! But again, it's
love it so much.
So good. Again, another great woman's storyline. The Timeless Tony Storm. I'm so happy that they're letting her just kind of like do her thing, because she just comes off as so unhinged and so just out there, that it's good. She sells it. Her and to their credit, Mariah May and Luther, they add to it too, So it's just brava, Miss Storm, brava.
I love Tony's line at the end of this. Is like, no one likes a diva. And just like storms off. I'm just like, this is probably my most anticipated match so far for Revolution. And that's saying something because we have a pretty stacked card, but this is the story that we've been building to Revolution outside of our triple threat for the AEW World Championship that I'm super excited for. Then we get into what is my match of the evening, Queen Aminata versus Anna Jay. I really, really love this match. This was my match of the night. And you know what? It was nice to see Queen win on AEW programming.
Yeah. But did you see afterwards what happened? Queen Aminata is now
All Elite is
All Elite.
All Elite. So
Yep.
she's
So she's
officially signed with the company. I'm
Yep.
super excited.
Yep.
Before this match, we get little like snippets of Renee's like interview with Queen. I was like, I'm gonna go watch that as later tonight or tomorrow because I definitely want. Queen has shot up into the rankings of one of my favorites in the AEW Multiverse of Madness, as we call it.
Yes.
Between the 3 AEW shows and the Ring of Honor universe too. I was just like, there's just something about her I love. And those little snippets that we got, Renee is just an amazing interviewer to begin with. I loved her podcast. And the fact that she's able to do this for AEW too, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And so I'm going to look forward to watch this. But this match was phenomenal. Having Queen finally win one on AEW television.
Oh, it was
great.
so nice. Oh,
so
man,
good.
it was
But
so nice.
But I also got to say too, Anna Jay also looked really good in this match too. Like,
yes,
this is the strongest I have seen her booked since post Jericho Appreciation Society breakup.
Yes, yeah, I was really impressed with how both of them looked, and the fact that Queen Aminata did get the win, but it was a hard fought win. So both Anna Jay and Queen Aminata came out looking fantastic. I'll tell you what, the thing that pissed me off about this match though was the announcing table. Like,
we say no. I understand your pain, Adolfo, because whether it be here on Dynamite or on Collision, all of us that review AEW, we have find a common consensus that during the women's matches, commentary just sucks the life out of the room. Collision does the best job in trying to keep, the women's match hyped up, but that I think is due to the part that Ian Riccaboni from Ring of Honor is on the Collision commentary team.
Right, exactly. And
I was just like, Ian is the saving grace. Everybody else is trash when it comes to commentating women.
Yeah, we're spoiled from the ROH announce team because they actually know what the hell they're doing. It
really is. The one thing I will agree with commentary though, I want to see Queen and Anna Jay run it back again sometime in the future. I would love a rematch.
Totally. I'm all for some sort of rematch. I mean, it'd be cool if Anna Jay and just just kind of like going. This is also factoring in like the backstage politics and this, that, and the other. But if Anna Jay ends up getting one of the women's, like the TNT Women's title, right? If Anna Jay gets that, and then her and Queen start feeding for it, that would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm if there's going to be a part 2 or part 3, I'm all for it because it was a good match. They both sold the hell out of it, so I'm here. And it doesn't have to be like the super dramatic storyline either. Just because at the end of this match, they both shook hands. They both hugged. I think it was because I felt at least like Anna Jay knew that she was giving Queen her first win on AEW, so it was special. Because even I don't know if you saw, but like at the end of the match, Queen was like moving to like leave the ring, and I think Anna Jay was like, "Wait, no, you won. You need, you know what I mean? You need to go do the thing." Queen's like, "Oh shit, that's right," So yeah, so it's good. I just hope that this does not cancel Queen's push in ROH. I would be very happy if she did get that the women's TV title, or if not, make it far in the tournament and then afterwards, like jockey for it. So
we talked a little bit about it during the Ring of Honor review. I personally think it's going to come down to the finals. I think the finals are going to be Billy versus Taya, but you know what? I would love to see Queen make it far into the tournament. But This was definitely, again, this was my favorite. This was my match of the evening. Queen is all elite now. Super happy for her. Yep. And I can't wait to see more of her because I think she's super fantastic.
Yep.
Then we go from an amazing women's match to my favorite dysfunctional family that it also involves some women talent. Backstage with Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Julie Hathaway. I love this little dysfunctional family we have, but Willow's not happy with the fact that to kind of get the win on Sky this past Wednesday on Dynamite. And so Chris is like, okay, we're going to try this again. Stoolie, you cannot interfere in Willow's match. And they handshake and everything. And I love Stokely so much. After he shakes Willow's hand, it's like, oh my gosh, girl, you're strong.
bless her heart. I love Willow Nightingale so much, and she really plays the stereotypical baby face so well, but like I did not mind that she got the win over Sith Blue, just because the heels, they do the same thing. So anytime a babyface gets a win, because they don't do it often, it's normally the baby faces that take the L's when the heels pull shenanigans. So in those moments when the baby faces win because of shenanigans, I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. I was totally okay with Stooley going up and casting interference on Aubrey. That was fine. Don't Willow, don't go too hard on Stooley. Okay.
Again, I love this little dysfunctional family that we have created, and I'm super excited to see what the direction we head into next. And then from here, our final backstage segment, romance is alive, love is real, because we get this. Renee initially is with Ruby Soho and Cool, and then she lets them have their little moment. We come to find out that it was Cool
and Ruby the
about
note,
everything, like outlining everything that Saraya has been doing, and like basically be like, I'm fighting for love. And so Cool Hand Ange is struggling to get his feelings out, and Ruby just pulls up with the ultimate move. And it's like, look, I was like, do you want to get some drinks sometime? Not tonight, because I have a red eye to do, but next week. And then, he says yes. She's like, good, I'll see you then. Walks off. And Cool Hand Ange is just all smiles. Is like, oh, right. Yep. And I was like, love is real, you guys.
This is the payoff. It was good.
The month,
it was good.
The last month or two with this whole storyline with, the Dawson's Creek saga, that was the Outcast breaking up, kind of getting back together, some shenanigans with the boyfriend, and just love wins in the end because Ruby and Cool Hand Ange seem to be hitting it off. Yep. And I am looking forward to this next chapter. I want them to be like this, not really a couple, but like in the wrestling world, I want them to be like a greaser couple where they fight and they just up. I was like, you got the aesthetic.
Yeah, they totally have that aesthetic. And I said it before, I'll say it, I'm hooked with this storyline. It's good. I felt when everything went down, I felt for Ruby. And again, great acting on the part of Ruby Soho to like sell this storyline. And now that we got this payoff, I'm just like, yes. I hope this leads to maybe some like mixed gender matches, like maybe Saraya, I don't know who, or maybe Saraya and Harley Cameron versus Ruby and Cool Hand Ange. Like, that'd be cool too.
Let's get some intergender matches. Forget mixed now. Let's do intergender matches.
Yeah,
or
I'm down for it.
If Saraya does need to find somebody, I mean, her brother is always available. And honestly,
I was about to say, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, as somebody who has become a huge fan of Zach Knight and the few appearances that he's done on Ring of Honor, Saraya and Zach Knight versus Cool Hand Ange and Ruby Soho would be a feud I actually would like to see.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So I love this. Love wins. And then we get into probably the weirdest thing. So this match, we get into our main event, which is like halfway started when we leave this backstage segment. And then we're told, this is your main event. Everyone's already fighting in the ring. I was like, oh, we're not getting entrances. I guess that's fine. My biggest issue with this match is it was like, how did we get this match? What happened? There was like, the only mention we got is on Dynamite. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang mentioned they want to have a 12-person tag match. But then we get this match. It is the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, which is the Acclaim, Billy Gunn, the Guns, and Switchblade Jay White taking on the mishmash team of the Dark Order, which is Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Evil Uno, and then teaming up with Double J, Jarrett, and team. So Jeff, Satnam, and Jay Lethal. I was just like...
It was nice seeing Satnam in the ring, though.
I will agree with that, but I'm also going to say this was not my favorite match because I figure with 12 people it was going to be clunky, but this was kind of a clunky match, too. And I feel like there was a lot of miscues from some people, too. I'm like, I don't think it was supposed to happen. Like, this was kind of a hot mess of a match for me, even though like I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was very chaotic.
It was. I actually reveled in the chaos. I was good with it. And dare I say this was my match of the night. And again, this spoke to my lizard brain, but I thoroughly enjoyed the spot fest where everyone just got a chance to come in and do their signature move. And it was just like one after another. And then I really enjoyed the 310 to Yuma, where it was actually Badass Billy Gunn and Colton, I think.
No, I think it was Austin actually.
Okay.
But it was nice to see father and son pull that into Yuma.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. So I hope that this Bang Bang Scissor Gang thing, I hope they're in it for the long haul, and that if there's a dissolution of it, that it's not, the Bang Bang gang, the Bull Club Gold, all of a sudden it's just like, haha, we cast ye out type thing, like
we played you all along.
Right. I really would like to see them go after the Undisputed Kingdom. And I know like right now Undisputed Kingdom kind of has some other things going on, but maybe later on in the year having the Bang Bang Scissor Gang going after the Undisputed Kingdom, because that is the thing that's holding them together, is the fact that they were all played and attacked and whatnot by the Undisputed Kingdom. So I would thoroughly enjoy seeing them get their revenge, as it were, on the Undisputed Kingdom, and then they can go back to being the Acclaimed and Bull Club Gold, and and I'll be fine. I want to see that before they fall apart. And where's Juice been? Juice?
I know Juice has been out with an injury. He's going to be out for I want to say 8 months or so. Well, I mean, he's been out for the last 2 anyway. So he's returning somewhere halfway through 2024, but he's out with a shoulder injury, I think.
Was it from that one spot with the Undisputed Kingdom?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure though, but that's why right now Bullet Club Gold has the cardboard Juice.
Yes.
It's also ridiculous.
It's so good.
They're Rolly. I love them.
Yeah.
But the Bang Bang Scissor Gang pick up the victory here, and they celebrate as Rampage goes off the air this week.
Yep.
All righty. Final ratings.
Again, it was to me, it was solid. Even though it was spot heavy, the only one spot that, or I should say backstage spot, the only backstage spot that really didn't sit well with me was that Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli spot. But even then, everything else, it flowed really well. When it was over, I was like, oh wow, that was an hour. Didn't even see that coming. So it was very entertaining. The matches were entertaining. Even the squash match with Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes, it was entertaining. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
I'm also going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I really love the women's stuff we got this week between Queen and Anna Jay's match, which was my match of the night, to the next chapter of the dysfunctional family that is Willow, Chris, and Stooley. But I also really love that we got to see a Rampage storyline have a payoff to end one chapter with Han Ange and Ruby Soho finally able to be together after Soraya's trying to manipulate and do whatever it takes to keep them apart.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see where the next chapter that goes. Love wins. It's so good.
Love wins.
It is. So, unfortunately, Adolfo, that does bring us to the end of this week's Cleanup Crew review. But before we sign off, we got to do some housekeeping real quick. If you enjoyed everything we got going on here, if you enjoyed this review, make sure to check us out all over the Viconics Wrestling YouTube channel, where we pretty much cover all the big shows throughout the week. And, that's a lot of wrestling. So there's something going on every single day, which is really good. And you can also find our podcast episodes and pay-per-view reviews. It's going to be really, really fun. Stay tuned for this upcoming week because a different kind of video is going to be dropping this week. We're trying out a new series, so I am stepping up to be the first person for this new video series that we want to do, so hopefully it goes well. If you want to figure out and find out when all these reviews go live, as well as some fun behind-the-scenes stuff, you can follow us all over the social medias at BC WrestlePod. And if you can't commit to watching our beautiful faces, let our voices carry you through your work day, school day, whatever day you need to have, because there are audio versions of all this. I'm going to let Adolfo talk about the next thing I think he's going to talk about. We broke this news on ROH last night and Dynamite, but I'm going to let Adolfo kind of give you the rundown. So, Adolfo, take it away.
That's right. If you are on the East Coast and in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, we will actually be making our first convention appearance at the Wrestle Show New Jersey in Middletown, New Jersey. That's May 18th and 19th down in Middletown, New Jersey, as I said, at the Middletown Sports Expo. It's a wrestling convention. There's a lot of stars that are going to be there. We got Billy Starks, Julia Hart, Harley Cameron, Mariah May, just to name a few, and Nick Wayne and Nick Wayne's mother are scheduled to be there as well, just to name a few. But we will be there the entire weekend. So, if you're in the area, that is, the website is WrestleShowNJ.com, and on Saturday night, they have a wrestling match going on as well, which we'll be at. So, yeah. Come say hi to us at our table.
I'm super excited. This is the first wrestling convention that I'm ever going to be a part of. And a bunch of us are going to be down there trying to be professional, but also being fanboys of wrestling folks that we love so much. It's going to be rough, but it's going to be a fun bonding experience for all of us. I think it's going to be really fun to finally get a bunch of us together in person after doing this for almost a whole entire year.
That's right.
But that is going to be it for us this week on the Cleanup Crew Review. Next week, it's going to just be Adolfo and Alice for the live stream of Rampage next week, because El Jefe himself, me, is going to be pulling double duty because I will be focusing on TNA's No Surrender pay-per-view with the other TNA boys, Will and Andrew. And then I'm also doing double duty because I'm also kind of focusing on WWE's Elimination Chamber. So
that's a thing too.
Yeah, those pay-per-view reviews are coming up shortly. So you will see me with Will and Andrew for TNA's No Surrender. And then you will see me, Minnie, the Professor, and whoever else wants to jump on for the Elimination Chamber review the following day. So it's going to be a fun time. But from myself and Adolfo and the rest of the boys here at the Biconics, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and stay Biconic. All of you guys, gals, non-binary pals, he, she, theys, and gays of the internet. We will see you next.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.